In a world that never stops talking, the man who can hold his tongue wields a power others just can't comprehend. We're drowning in noise notifications, meaningless chatter, and the constant pressure to have an opinion on everything. This isn't just a distraction, it's an attack on your focus and your spirit. But what if there was a shield? An ancient, battle-tested defense that could not only protect you but make you an unshakable force. This isn't about being shy or having nothing to say. This is about using silence as a tool. The Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth, and Epictetus, a slave who became one of history's greatest thinkers, understood a profound truth. Real power doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't need to. It's quiet, contained, and absolute. They mastered restraint in speech, not as weakness, but as the ultimate sign of control. Today, we're uncovering 5 ancient Stoic laws of silence. These aren't just ideas, they are tactical principles that will transform you. They'll make you immune to insults, magnetic in conversation, and the master of your own emotions. By the end of this, you'll understand how to use silence to build a fortress around your mind, making you untouchable. Forget being the loudest voice in the room. The real master is the one who has nothing to prove. Section 1. The Law of the Pause. Count to 3 before speaking. The first law is the gateway to the others, and it's deceptively simple. The law of the pause. When provoked, questioned, or put on the spot, count to 3 before you say a single word. This tiny gap is a psychological battlefield where you can score an instant victory. Think about the last time someone tried to get a rise out of you. A colleague's snide remark or an outright insult. Their goal is simple, a reaction. They throw out a hook and wait for you to bite. Your immediate emotional response is the exact fuel they want. It validates their attack and pulls you down into the mud with them. The second you lash out, you're no longer in control. You're a puppet, and they're pulling the strings. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that we must strive not to be carried away by appearances. When someone provokes you, it's not their words that harm you, but your opinion that their words are harmful. By pausing, you cut that connection. You create a space between their action and your response. In that space, you reclaim your power. Epictetus advised that if you just gain a little time and respite, you will more easily command yourself. Imagine a matador in a bull ring. The bull charges with blind rage. The matador doesn't meet force with force. He makes a simple, elegant sidestep, and the bull thunders past, its own aggression tiring it out. Your silence is that elegant sidestep. The attacker charges, expecting a collision. When you meet them with stillness, their aggression hits nothing. It just hangs in the air, exposed and foolish. Suddenly, they're the one who looks weak. You haven't said a word, yet you've dominated the exchange. This pause also does something else. It makes people curious. We're all conditioned to expect an immediate back and forth. When you deny them that, it throws them off. They stop thinking about their attack and start thinking about you. Why isn't he reacting? What's he thinking? Their focus shifts from controlling you to trying to understand you. That's a massive power shift. You've become an enigma. And in a world where everyone shows their whole hand, the man of mystery has an incredible advantage. This isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about controlling them. The pause moves you from a hot, emotional state to a cool, logical one. In those 3 seconds, you can ask yourself, is this worth my energy? What's the best response? Or, as is often the case, is any response needed at all? So, next time you feel that flash of anger from an insult, practice this law. Let them throw their spear. Hold your ground, stay silent, and count. 1, 2, 3. Watch their power dissolve. This small act of restraint isn't passive. It's an active, dominant display of self-mastery. It's the first step to becoming untouchable. Section 2. The Law of Listening. Listen twice as much as you speak. Once you've mastered the pause, you'll naturally start using the second law, the law of listening. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, put it best. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say. This isn't just a clever saying. It's a strategic blueprint for gaining wisdom. In our world, conversation has become a competitive sport. We're just waiting for our turn to speak, forming our rebuttal while the other person is still talking. The Stoics saw this not as strength, but as a deep weakness. The man who is always talking is revealing everything and learning nothing. The man who truly listens learns everything and reveals only what he chooses. The power of listening is twofold. First, you gather incredible amounts of information. When you stay quiet, you create a vacuum, and people rush to fill it with their thoughts, insecurities, plans, and weaknesses. They will tell you exactly who they are, all because you gave them the space. A man who talks all the time is walking through the world blindfolded, so consumed by his own voice he can't see what's right in front of him. The listener, however, sees everything. He's the quiet observer who understands the real dynamics in the room long before anyone else. This isn't just passively hearing, it's active, strategic listening. It's paying attention not just to the words, but to the tone, the body language, and what's not being said. When you listen this intently, you're not just having a conversation, you're studying human nature. That knowledge is power. Second, listening builds a unique kind of authority. When you give someone your full, undivided attention, you make them feel heard. That's a rare gift. It builds trust, but it also subtly sets a power dynamic. While they are opening up and revealing their inner world, you remain a calm center of gravity. They become the emotional one, while you are the constant. This makes you a source of stability. People are drawn to that quiet strength. They'll seek your counsel not because you're loud, but because your silence implies you have something worth saying. How much of our lives do we waste on pointless talk? On saying things we don't mean to impress people we don't even like? The law of listening is the cure. It forces you to be present. In your next conversation, set a simple goal. Understand the other person's view so well you could argue it for them. Don't think about your reply. Just absorb. Ask questions. Nod. Use the pause. You'll notice a huge change. The conversation will get deeper. The other person will reveal more, and you'll walk away with more influence than if you had talked the whole time. This is how you become a quiet authority. Your power isn't in the volume of your voice, but in the depth of your understanding. Listen twice as much as you speak, because you know that knowledge is a weapon, and letting others speak first is how you gather your ammunition. Section 3. The law of meaningful words. Speak only when necessary. After mastering pausing and listening, you arrive at the third principle, the law of meaningful words. Epictetus gave the instruction bluntly, be silent for the most part, or say only what is necessary and in a few words. This is a total rejection of the modern world's obsession with small talk and filling every second with noise. The average person feels an awkward pressure in silence and rushes to fill it with trivial chatter. He thinks this makes him likable. A Stoic sees this as a leak in his personal power. Every useless word you speak drains your energy and focus. The law of meaningful words demands that your speech has a purpose. Before you open your mouth, ask, does this need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? And does it need to be said now? If the answer is no, silence is the default. This isn't about being rude, it's about making your words count. When you speak rarely, your words gain incredible weight. People learn that when you talk, it's for a reason. Your words become a signal, not just background noise. Think about the most respected figures you know. Do they babble endlessly, or do they have an economy of language? True authority is shown in the quality of your words, not the quantity. Brevity is intriguing, Your silence suggests a rich inner world that doesn't need constant approval. Practicing this also declutters your mind. By rejecting trivial conversation, you save huge amounts of mental energy. You can then redirect that energy toward your goals and self-improvement. By choosing silence, you take back control of your own attention, which is the most valuable currency in the 21st century. This law shields you from pettiness. Gossip and drama require you to participate. When you meet triviality with calm, detached silence, you make it powerless. You're on a different frequency. A man building an empire doesn't have time to throw stones at every dog that barks at him. His silence isn't a sign he can't hear the barking. It's a sign he's focused on something more important. To apply this, start by just observing your own speech for a day. Notice how often you speak out of habit or nervousness. Then start to edit yourself. In meetings, wait until you have something of real value to add. In social settings, resist the urge to fill every pause. Let your presence be felt through your calm attention, not your constant chatter. It's a tough discipline, but over time, people will come to respect it as a sign of confidence and control. They'll see you as a man who deals in substance, not fluff. Section 4. The Law of Hidden Plans. Don't announce your ambitions. The fourth law is one of the most counterintuitive in our culture of oversharing, the law of hidden plans. In an age where people broadcast every goal, the Stoic path is one of total silence. You don't announce your plans. You don't seek praise for your ambitions. You don't talk about the man you're going to become. You just build him. In silence, through action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This applies to all ambitions. Talking about your goals is a trap. It gives you a premature and unearned sense of accomplishment. When you tell people you're going to start a business or get in shape, their positive feedback gives your brain a cheap hit of dopamine. It feels good, so good that it can actually kill the motivation you need to do the hard work. The world is full of people who talk a good game. The true master lets his results speak for him. His actions are his only real announcement. There's a deep power in moving in silence. When no one knows what you're doing, no one can interfere. No one can project their fears, doubts, and mediocrity onto your vision. Even well-meaning people will give you 1,000 reasons why your plan might fail. Silence shields your ambition from that negativity. Plus, when you work in secret, you build an undeniable aura of mystery. While others are busy talking about their future, you're in the trenches laying bricks. Then one day, the wall is built. Your success appears to the world as if from nowhere. It's sudden and deeply impressive. People aren't impressed by plans, they're impressed by results. By hiding your plans, you ensure the only thing the world can judge you on is your finished work. If you want to be more disciplined, don't talk about it. Just wake up early and do the work. If you want to be more courageous, don't announce it. Just face a fear. Let your character be revealed through your deeds, not your declarations. Virtue is something you live, not something you talk about. This requires discipline. The ego craves validation. It wants to be praised for its good intentions. You have to starve the ego of that cheap satisfaction and instead find fulfillment in the process itself. Let your goals be sacred. Write them down, review them daily, but don't speak them. Pour all the energy you would have spent talking into doing. Let the world be surprised by your success. Your silence about your plans will only amplify the noise of your results. Section 5. The Law of Provocation. Meet insults with silence. The final law is the ultimate test of your inner fortress, the law of provocation. This law states that when you are insulted or attacked, the most powerful response is silence. This is the shield that makes you truly untouchable, because it proves your emotional state is entirely under your own control. People will try to provoke you to test your composure and find a crack in your armor. They do this to feel powerful. An insult is a probe sent to find a weakness. If you react with anger, you've shown them exactly where you're vulnerable. You signaled that they have power over your emotions. Epictetus taught this with perfect clarity. Remember that it is not he who gives ill language or a blow that insults, but the principle which represents these things as insulting. An insult has no power on its own. It's just sounds. The power comes from your internal agreement with it, your belief that you have been harmed. When you react, you become an accomplice to the person trying to hurt you. Silence in the face of provocation is the ultimate sign of strength. It communicates that the other person's opinion is so irrelevant it doesn't even warrant a response. It's a quiet declaration that your self-worth is built on the bedrock of your own character, not the shifting sands of others' approval. Marcus Aurelius compared insults to the barking of dogs. You don't get down on all fours and bark back. You simply continue on your way. This silence starves the provocateur of what they crave, your emotional energy. An angry reaction is their reward. It tells them their attack worked. Silence, on the other hand, is deeply unsettling for an aggressor. It turns a mirror back on them, leaving them alone with their own toxicity, which now looks childish and impotent against your composure. They expected a fight, but you refused to even enter the ring. You don't just end the conflict, you win it. The psychological effect is devastating. Your stillness may cause them to escalate, getting more aggressive to force a reaction. But if you hold the frame of calm detachment, their escalation only makes them look more unhinged. Eventually they will retreat in confusion or shame. You've won by refusing to play their game. There's a brilliant quote from Epictetus that shows how to apply this. If anyone tells you that such a person speaks ill of you, don't make excuses, but answer, "He does not know my other faults, else he would not have mentioned only these." This is the mindset of the untouchable man. It's a mindset of such deep self-acceptance that the petty attacks of others simply bounce off. So, the next time someone tries to drag you into the mud, remember this law. Let their words hang in the air and die. Hold your frame. Remain silent. Observe them with a neutral, almost clinical detachment. You are not a rock that is unfeeling. You are a fortress that is impenetrable. You are the sole ruler of your own mind. No one can hurt you without your permission, and you will never give that permission again. These 5 laws, the law of the pause, the law of listening, the law of meaningful words, the law of hidden plans, and the law of provocation are a practical guide to reclaiming your power in a noisy world. They are the building blocks of an unshakable inner peace. Silence is not emptiness, it is clarity. It is not weakness, it is control. It's the discipline that separates the reactor from the creator, the puppet from the master. In a world screaming for your attention, the greatest act of rebellion is to master your own silence. By pausing, you control the moment. By listening, you gain knowledge. By speaking with meaning, your words gain power. By hiding your plans, your actions become undeniable. And by meeting provocation with silence, you become truly untouchable. This is the Stoic path. A path of discipline, self-mastery, and quiet, unshakable strength. It's the choice to stop being a leaf blown about by the wind and to become the mountain that stands firm in the storm. The world will keep being noisy, people will keep testing you. But from this day forward you have the shield, you have the weapon. Use it.